And while Philly did get the win and they did pull themselves into a divisional tie with the Cowboys, they took the L on the injury front, losing both Alshon Jeffrey and Lane Johnson. Nick, how should the Eagles feel after this game?
Relieved, I suppose. I'll tell you, Lane Johnson feels great. He signed that extension. Oh, bird in the hand, man.
Right,
signed that extension before getting carted off. Got the extension a couple weeks ago. But if you feel like the Eagles were somehow going to turn it around and go on a playoff run, they allowed 26 straight to Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then they fall down 17-0 or 23 straight to Ryan Fitzpatrick, fall down 17-3 in this game. Like, last week should have been your last and final wake-up call, and they snoozed through that alarm as well. We're able to pull it out in the second half, but I don't think you can feel good about them, Broussard.
Not at all. Look, I get pros will say a win is a win, and that's true. They're tied now with the Cowboys in the standings, but they have not played well. A team coming off 3 straight L's, an embarrassing loss to Miami. You had every reason to go out there and play your best football of the season. You're facing a hapless Giants team with a 38-year-old quarterback who you know, for everybody celebrating how well he played, he was 15 for 30 for 200 yards. You know, so the fact that they needed a late drive in the fourth quarter and then overtime to win that game tells me that Dallas is going to win this division.
The New England Patriots acknowledged yesterday that an independent film crew inappropriately filmed the Bengals sideline Sunday in Cleveland. Patriots play the Bengals this weekend. The film crew claimed they were shooting a Patriots web series, but admit they did not inform the Bengals or the NFL. New England also said the production crew is not part of the Patriots football operations. Meanwhile, the NFL is investigating the incident. Nick, what was your reaction to this?
My reaction was, why is it always this team? Like, where's the alleged cheating scandal involving the Chicago Bears? Where's the time that the Patriots are the one being victimized on this? Like, people already, the Chiefs' equipment got sent to Jersey instead of Foxborough, and because of the Patriots' history, folks were wondering, was there a little nefarious stuff at work there? That was unfair. The Bengals clearly believe the Patriots, this wasn't an honest mistake, and so you've got one team in Cincinnati who I have no reason to question their reputation, one team in New England who I do have reason to question their reputation. At the very least, Broussard, it's a terrible look for the greatest, arguably, team in modern NFL history.
Right, and my feeling, Nick, is they don't need to do this. Just like they didn't need the deflated footballs, you know? I don't know how much of an advantage you're getting from the Spygate that they did, and if this is true from this. I think they're a great football team, franchise, quarterback, coach. You know, as it is, why do you need to do these things? But they've given up all benefit of the doubt. Like, we can't give them the benefit of the doubt because your track record says a lot about you. And, you know, they've been caught doing it too many times before. So most people are going to think, yeah, they cheated, whether they really did or not.
This past weekend, the Patriots and Chiefs squared off in an AFC title rematch with Kansas City's defense, getting the best of 42-year-old Tom Brady. TB12 had just 169 passing yards and 1 score. He was also sacked 3 times, one of them by Chiefs defensive end Frank Clark, who doubled down about it to reporters, saying, quote, "We'll be seeing them in the playoffs. Hopefully we do. I want them again. They don't have a tackle that can block us. Speed, power, whatever we were throwing at them, they couldn't handle." Nick, is it a mistake to call out the New England Patriots?
In general, I think the rule is yes. In this instance, I don't think it's a mistake because the reason that I said yesterday, we set aside all the officiating stuff and where Brady is as a player, all of that. The reason I said yesterday for the Chiefs, this was such a critical game, is if they had lost it, the mental edge the Patriots would have over them would be so enormous. When in Week 6 last year in Foxborough, after a terrible first half, the Chiefs take a fourth-quarter lead and can't hold it. In the AFC Championship game at home, the Chiefs take 2 fourth-quarter leads and can't hold them. A third time, force a tie to get to overtime and can't stop them. If you then lose to them again, a clearly weakened Patriot team, a Patriot team that was playing its worst month of football all year, then what real belief do you have you can go in there and beat them? But that's not what happened. They did beat them. They pressured Tom Brady at a higher rate than he's been pressured by any team all year by a wide margin. The defense has to feel like it played spectacularly. They got twice on trick plays and a blocked punt on the special teams. That was really the entirety of the Patriots moving the football. So now I think this is LeVar Ball-ish almost. Speak it into existence. We're not afraid of them. You should be afraid of us. And I've never been a huge believer of bulletin board material to begin with. I certainly don't think bulletin board material exists for the best coach teams. Maybe a poorly coached team in the NFL, a team that's kind of waiting its way through the season. But if we assume Belichick's the greatest coach ever, we would assume that he's going to have his team at maximum motivation for a playoff game, no matter what is said. So this is Frank Clark, the Chiefs' big offseason acquisition, saying, you're not the bully on the block anymore. We are, and we have figured you out, and trying to instill that type of confidence in his team. And by the way, the Chiefs shouldn't fear the Patriots. Right now, no quality team should fear the New England Patriots, how they've played the last 6 weeks.
Here's the problem. LeVar Ball wasn't right about much. Right? But look, I get what you're saying. Sometimes you can respect the team too much.
Yeah.
And maybe I guess you're coming from that angle of Frank Clark saying, look, we're not respecting these guys. They put their pants on, one leg at a time, just like we do. But I don't like it. I think it was foolish. Number one, but for some horrible calls by the officials, you may have lost that game. Maybe. It wasn't a done deal that New England would have won, but you may have lost that game, number one. Two, you're right. They put great pressure on Brady, and they are a good pass defense, actually. But overall, their defense isn't strong. And against the run, they're horrible. And you look at Bill Belichick, you know this is a coach that makes adjustments. You know this is a coach that I wouldn't be surprised if in that game they're not showing everything to Kansas City. They're just trying to get data and see what Kansas City may do when they meet them in the playoffs. So they're going to make the adjustments. I think they're going to try to expose them. They'll probably run the football very well if they meet Kansas City in the playoffs.
Real quick, if they're not showing everything in a game when they ran a flea flicker and a running back pass, then unless they've got the annexation of Puerto Rico coming up, I don't know what trick I think the Patriots wanted that game. I think they needed that game. I think they now understand they are one loss away from not getting a bye. They understood going into that game that if they wanted any hope of getting the 1 seed, they needed to run the table. So I don't agree with you.
I'm not saying that they didn't care about winning. I'm just saying
keeping something in reserve.
Yeah, that's what they do. They collect data. I think you'll see a different team. And I'm not picking them. I picked the Chiefs to win the AFC. But I think you'll see a different Patriots team against Baltimore if they face each other again, and then Kansas City. So I just think, Frank Clark, why? There was no need to do this.
No reason to do it at all. But do you think the win means the monkey's officially off the Chiefs' back? There's no more mental edge that one team has over the other with these two?
I think it officially would. I think you have to do it in the playoffs but I don't know. If they played them once in the playoffs, they played them damn near to a draw, and they lost. So it's not Phillip Rivers, who has never beaten Tom Brady. It's not Ben Roethlisberger, who I think Pittsburgh's 0-3 in the playoffs against New England since Brady has been there. That's the other reason I like this, is that the Chargers, there was Peyton Manning, who the Patriots got the better of, but Peyton Manning had some successes. But then after Patriots Colts over the last 20 years, the two top teams in the AFC have been the Steelers and the Chargers, who have never beaten the Patriots in a big-time football game. In one of the meaningful games, the Chargers have never beaten Tom Brady with Phillip Rivers, and the Steelers have never beaten him in a game that we felt really meant something. It's why last year was so surprising that the bad Steeler team or mediocre Steeler team beat New England. The Chiefs need to have the mentality of, we are not only next, we are now. That the team we are concerned with is Baltimore. That it's 2020 damn near. It's not the 2010s. It's certainly not the 20-aughts. We're not afraid of